Inventory. Okay, in this video, we'll take a look at how to set up your inventory in AcuBase. While we're on the list view here, there is a column next to the trash can with a little box next to each item that you can exclude from your list. So if there is anything that you'd like to exclude, simply click on the box and then click on exclude, and these items will be taken away from the main list. They don't disappear, they're still in the database, they're just not in your main list. If you'd like to bring them back, click on exclude again and check the box, go to show all, and they'll be back in your list. Let's take the first product here. When you create a new product in AcuBase, it will automatically assign a product ID number. This is how the database keeps track of that. If you want to modify that number, you can, but it's actually going to still keep track of the number assigned by the database. And there would really be no reason for you to assign your own number to that. The name of the product, of course, you set that up in this field here. And then your cost, the retail price, and the tax here. Two choices for the tax. You can either assign a tax here individually, or you can later on, once you've set up your entire inventory list, you can go to the tool wrench, click on the billing tab, click on the general sub tab, and here you can apply a tax and click on update inventory so that it gets applied to all of your products. Back to our inventory, a name on superbill. This field here automatically gets assigned the same name as the name of the item at the top here. It actually defaults to this field at the same time as you're typing into the main name field. But you can change this to something else if you'd like. For example, this large here, we could just make it LG to have a shorter version of it. What you want to make sure of is that no two items have the same name in this particular field. This is a field that will populate the drop menu of your superbill, and if two items have the same name, you will only see one of them. All right, then we have the category. This is a drop menu, so anytime you have a drop menu in AcuBase, you can always edit this drop menu and add or delete values to it. Purchase by, again, drop menu, so you can edit these values. You want to make sure that your purchase by unit is the same as how you're selling it. Meaning if you're going to sell herbs in grams, even though you may be purchasing by the kilo, when you enter it here, you want to enter, if you receive 1 kilo, you want to enter that you've received 1,000. You don't need to put grams here, but you want to say that you can receive 1,000 because ultimately you'll be selling it in grams. So it needs to be in the same unit. This field here where my cursor is right now, this is where you enter how many of an item you have. So let's say here I've just received $10 of this item. And then again, this is a drop menu, so you can edit this, and then there'll be a date here. If you need to account for product loss, such as an expired product, let's say, or something that you've given away to someone, you want to make sure, since these are not going to be recorded on the superbill, you want to make sure that you record them here so that they're accounted for and that you put a minus in front of it. Let's say -1, and we can have here a category that would be product expired, let's say. And so that would be something that you would be throwing away. You're not selling it, so it's not going to be on one of your superbill. And this is how you're going to account for that so that your total quantity adjusted is no longer 10, but 9. These numbers here below are not numbers that you can modify. The database keeps tracks of things based on what you have, what you sold, what you have on hand, and based on this minimum to keep on hand here. So for example, here we have 9 of this item. We haven't sold anything yet. So let's just go to an invoice and see how that would be to sell some of this item. So on the super bill, you'll have your product area where you can choose your product and make sure that you put in a quantity here so that it can properly deduct from the inventory. Now that I've done that, if I go back to my inventory and I take a look at that same product, you can see that I've sold 8. Total quantity was 9 since we adjusted for 1. Amount on hand is 1. Since my minimum to keep on hand is also 1, there is nothing that tells me that it's time to reorder. However, if I wanted my minimum on hand to be 2, then this would alert me that open to buy is 1. This is something that you can also see from the list view. Right next to the back button here at the top, you have a little symbol here that you can click on to view things as list. And when you want to see a record in its format, then you click on the one next to it. So this is where you can see what's open to buy. You can also do a search for what's open to buy from here by clicking on the find icon and tabbing into the open to buy. You can type in greater than 1, let's say, perform find, and it will tell you all the items that are open to buy for greater than 1. Let's go back to our show all product and to our product here. So that covers everything that's on the left hand side except for the description. Of course, that's for you to put in whatever you'd like to. On the right hand side, you want to make sure to select your vendor from the drop menu list here. If you don't see your vendor, make sure to go to the tool wrench and add your vendor to the vendor list. There is another sub-tab here in your inventory products file, and that's for additional info. If you'd like to keep track of additional info here or add some pictures, you can do that as well. All right, I think this is all for the inventory. If you have any questions, please feel free to email us at support@trigram.com. That's SUPPORT @trigram.com. That is the best and fastest way to get a hold of us. Thank you.